Flyquest. They're one of the biggest orgs in esports in general, but also really dominant. I mean, this is a team that beat 100 Thieves and Sentinels, only got knocked out of Ignite by Envy. Those three teams all going to the big LAN.
I agree, and just like this, like you said, it's a very stalling composition, and we've stalled 30 seconds. They're still able to continue this defense with at least 2 Vanguards still on the field here, and alongside Zelos on this strategist role, which of course is going to result in the Eternal Bond being used first. Now here comes Vest with a beautiful, again, Meteor M. I'm not just talking into thin air when I say this. Vest hits those, and that's going to be shutting down this what looked to be a big opening for Cafe Noir.
Yeah, and we actually see a bit of a strategy from the TP there, blocking one means of exit, funneling everyone into one spot, and it is just going to be a death circle for Cafe Noir as Flyquest just dump everything into them as they're all clustered in like rats in a cage. Absolutely, Cafe Noir putting so many people forward in the last fight, and that's a huge kill for Cafe Noir. A lot of damage being lost from Flyquest, and they are going to pop that final judgment. And now Cafe Noir finally making ground with this cart approaching the second corner.
762, which is unaware of the fact that his vest was right there. Cafe Noir now on the back foot here, forced to use this duplicated Eternal Bond and maybe get something started, but it just does not matter, especially when Flyquest comes back with their own Eternal Bond, and that is going to be the first part of the defense, going by the way of Flyquest.
They're going to try to replicate what everyone has been doing today, and they're not going to do a great job at it. Immediately, 3 people fall. So the cart has just been moving, a full reset for Cafe Noir. They still have that portal in their back pocket, but now we're already approaching point 1 with Flyquest.
Oh, wow. And look at the rotation they opt to make. They actually don't go around the right side. They actually make a full rotation past the point towards the left side mini pack. And then suddenly everyone is just going down for the count.
Horrible tragedy. So they do swap over to the 2v2 with the Punisher and the Storm. But the Moon Knight is just so valuable here because of how tight the alleyways are. 1 ultimate finds 3, and it's all crumbling around them. Cafe Noir just cannot stop this push.
For Flyquest to take this first map, and we're going over to this, actually going to be using the Eye of Akamoto here. Reversal. Eternal Bond is on the field here for Flyquest to expend and stay inside of, get that healing over time. Amped up. Omega Hurricane does get procced here in the back line, looks over at the entire front line, and we find 2. That's great. But everyone around 762 is starting to crumble. Not before getting out his 1, but it almost doesn't matter as Flyquest bring it back with just a minute under that initial 5-minute time bank. Oh my goodness. And speaking of melting, there's a lot of fire in play here from either side. But Fate of Both Worlds will be used first by Flyquest, giving them a leg, not Fate of Both Worlds, but Cooper-Tastics using the Mischief, getting the duplicate here. And that's going to be the big opener for Flyquest. And they actually forced out the invisible boundary from Konoya, which I think is really big.
Yeah, absolutely. A bit of a high line trying to stop them. Also drawing a lot of attention while the Hulk goes in on the flank. I do think he had to pull back.
Oh, but what the pressure coming in with that Meteor M from Vez. Energy did, not Energy, excuse me. Snows was able to kind of get out of the line of sight for a little bit, gets a lot of damage put onto them, but then Vez just gets the elimination anyway, shutting down the use of a Kraken Impact, which would have been absolutely massive in this fight. Now here comes the Phoenix Ultimate. Doesn't really find too much, but the pressure is still on, as of course now I believe everyone's kind of marked, which means that at this point, this has become an ult exchange, an ult dump here for Cafe Noir, and by default, you're gonna kind of win out this fight, but not without kind of losing out on that ult economy.
Cooper-Tastic, though, being the first one to pop their ult a little while ago, is going to be the first one up with their ult, but they don't even need it. Energy on the Phoenix is just running them down.
I mean, look at the aggression from Tones. Actually gets exiled and shut down the momentum shift. That would have been really good for Cafe Noir. Thankfully, they pushed Flyquest all the way back, but during that push, we suddenly lose out on Konoya. That's big, forcing out the Phoenix Ultimate to also be expended here, and that is a big pincer that you're really dealing with. It's overtime, it's 99%, and no one else can touch, and Flyquest are going to take this first objective under their belt and go over to a round 2.
This point is a little bit trickier. It's not quite as flat as the other one, so high ground and elevation are going to be something to fight for.
The most vertical meter I've ever seen in my life from Vest does not find the target in the air of 762, and Cafe Noir, just based off of that, are whoa! They're gonna take this first point with fervor. What did I just watch?
But that being said, just like last time, Cafe Noir are the first people to put points on the board, and they're approaching that 50% mark, already doing a little bit better than they did last time. But just like that, Spark Chief just running at them as they all collapse in. Cafe Noir finally pushed off point.
Here comes the Phoenix. Oh, and not gonna quite get the eliminations needed for Cafe Noir to open this up again, but Reversal Phoenix does come in. Mind you, this fight's happening super up front, and in the objective itself, someone's contesting from Cafe Noir. It's gonna be Tones doing their best with the Monster Hulk to stay alive long enough, but you get frozen, you get stunned, and you can't walk, and you get exploded. Oh, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Tones is back in that Bruce Banner form, but Spark Chief gonna be the one also to go down. Vest, thankfully, despite only having the scientist next to him, can absolutely wreak havoc in the rest of the team in that front line, pretty much by themselves, as they keep it up to this overtime fight. And guys, it's gonna result in Flyquest take. Wait, we didn't touch. Flyquest takes it 2-0 here.
Cafe Noir did a lot better on. They are yet again going to have pick of the map. So if there's a point where they need to get their mental on, they need to get everything back together and just put head down, win the map, get themselves to a game 4, it's going to be here, and they'll have a pretty good opportunity to do so.
With, of course, the Wolverine and Thing team up, it did not matter. Spark Chief is on top of it like white on rice. And speaking of, Cooper-tastic, beautiful elimination onto Kanoya very early on. Now, again, the spawn room is right there, so they'll be back relatively quickly. But we are just ganging up on these guys right at their spawn doors, which is something that we've been seeing consistently from Flyquest since Yggdrasil's Path. They love being right up against their noses in that spawn room with a triple Vanguard composition.
We do see someone fall per side, but obviously Snows is going to be back soon because they have the ult advantage, or the spawn advantage.
Oh, but the clobber time is here, and it's here to stay. Now, it does get a lot of stuns, but no real eliminations on the board here. We do have the Strangling Prison online, but the Eye of Agamotto finds not 1, not 2, but 3 stuns. Yet again, lack of elimination, forcing the CY8 machine to be the Carrier F5 to be expended here from Adios. Is it going to be enough? However, it is. At least for Cafe Noir, we have the Strangling Prison, which does, at the very least, find Spark Chief. We have the Fable Throws also coming in from both sides, and this should be enough for Cafe Noir, not only to eliminate and tone down this ult bank that Flyquest had originally brought up. They should now, with just about the 2-minute mark, get a couple of meterage on the objective here. A little bit, tiny little bit. We are seeing Vest come in with the Eye of Agamotto.
Yeah, Vest, they survive on spot so much longer than the rest of their teammate. We do finally see the kills go the way of Cafe Noir as they clean up the rest. But Vest taking so long to die means that there is no time for Vest to get back and TP them forward. So it was a much more staggered approach. And in the end, it pretty much cost them. But we do finally see the TP come out from them, immediately pushed back. So it's a bit of a staggered and awkward approach, but they are going to make their way out from the other side of the portal.
Cafe Noir has a lot more numbers, a lot more sustain under their belts, and they should be able to at least close out these last couple meters and bring us to... Energy, mi amor, can you relax? Oh, that's big. That's it. Cafe Noir just got to stop that last second. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they all collapse. The kills go their way. Now Flyquest are in a position, prime position, to not just win the map, but the series and the tournament.
Ideally, Cafe Noir should just stall this point, but they're being pushed out from the side area, and Flyquest are going to get a good amount of meterage under their belt almost immediately with almost little contention. We lose Vest, though. That's big.
Yeah, and
a little bit. Fez got on the flank a little bit and then was like, actually, I shouldn't peek them real quick. Because last time that happened, Fez was down really, really early. However, as we go around this corner now, going towards the objective, Eternal Bond is on the floor. And here's also the Supernova right in the entryway of where Cafe Noir want to walk. It makes Monotone need to use a Fate of Both Worlds here just to walk freely. And of course, as a response, Zelos does go for the Eternal Bond on the floor, and Monotone, shortly after the timer of the Fable Throws goes down, they go down back to the spawn room. Following, of course, is that Wolverine. Another aerial meter M comes in from Vest to no luck, but I don't even think it's all that much of a difference as Flyquest easily run through Araka with a 3-0 lead in the series and win the best of 5 and are the grand champions of Tenax circuit. Oh my goodness, it was beautiful.